Listen, if someone was like, oh, marry this person, they're a billionaire, hell yeah, I'm gonna be happy. Hell yeah, because I'm thinking about all the damn things that money gonna buy that's gonna make me even happier, okay? Okay, that's my opinion.
I guess he's very sad that he married me then. That's what he's saying. In today's episode, we are bringing back a candid conversation. These are videos that we do every once in a while, kind of just sounding off, very unscripted, about a particular financial question or controversial financial topic. So today we're going to be answering the question, does money buy happiness?
Hey Wealth Builders, welcome back to another episode of The Bemused. My name is Mishak.
And I'm Akeiva.
And on this channel, we talk about all things personal finance for young adults just like you and us.
So if you're into that kind of thing, go on and join the Wealth Builders squad by hitting that big red subscribe button. And while you're at it, click that little notification bell so you never miss when we post new, fun, valuable videos just like this one. So Mishak, I'd love to hear what you think. You can start out this one. Does money buy happiness? What do you think?
I think it can buy things that make you happy. So I don't know. I think that the answer for me will be yes. I think that money itself doesn't necessarily bring you joy. I think it's the things that you trade that money for that bring you joy.
Yeah, but happiness versus joy, in my head, there's a difference between those two things.
There
so
is.
Are you equating happiness with joy? You saying those are the same thing?
I think so. I think that if I were to use money to buy a Tesla, I'd be happy. If I were to use money to buy, a new tech product, I'd be happy. So I think
But you're using the word happy and joy like synonymously, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. So your Tesla would bring you joy?
Yeah, it would. I think so.
Yeah, to me, I think there's a difference between happiness and joy. Happiness to me is temporary, it is a fleeting thing, you're happy for a moment, but things that bring you joy, I feel have deep value and deep meaning and significance beyond just a temporary moment, right? Mm-hmm. So I think there's a distinction there between money buying happiness and money buying joy. Mm-hmm. Now, I feel it can potentially do both, but I think that what those things are going to be different in my head. For me, a Tesla might bring me happiness, but sending my kid to college might bring me joy. I don't know. Something like that. I feel that's more about legacy. That's a deeper thing to me than just happiness.
Yeah. My thought, like I said, for me, that's what I think. I think that it can definitely bring you happiness. I think so. Because for some people, just having their bank account reach a certain number, especially if you're someone who you've been struggling just to save, and it's ooh, thank God I was able to save $500. It's seeing that number in your bank account brings you happiness. So, I like your definition where it's just for a moment, and joy might be something that's deeper. Where maybe you reflect on later and it's it still has that feeling for you. So, I could see that point, but I definitely do think that it can bring you happiness. I do believe that. Listen, if someone was like, oh, marry this person, they're a billionaire, hell yeah, I'm gonna be happy. Hell yeah, because I'm thinking about all the damn things that money gonna buy that's gonna make me even happier, okay? Okay, that's my opinion.
I guess he's very sad that he married me then. That's what he's saying. But yeah, no, I don't even think it has to get to that level though. Marrying a billionaire, I think that there is still a level of contentment that I think everybody needs to get to. At some point, you can't just keep wanting more and more and more. And so I think for people who will always want more and more and more, I think that's a situation where money will never buy you things that bring you joy because you're always looking for the next thing.
True.
So in my opinion, it's yeah, money can buy them, I guess, happiness to an extent. But if you're that type of person who's never going to be content with what you have at any stage, at any point, people have more money than they know what to do with. It's just no. I feel that's taking it a bit too far.
Yeah. And I think it's situational. Because some people will say money doesn't buy you happiness. And like I said, I think that it can buy you things that make you happy. You know, it can buy you that TV that maybe you've been yearning for, that phone that you've been looking at. It might be able to buy you a meal service so that you don't have to cook anymore.
Listen, that's
and that
joy
makes
to
you
me.
happy.
That is true joy to me.
It might be able to afford you to hire a driver where you don't have to drive anymore. So, you know, I don't know. I think that it definitely can buy you things that can make your life easier, that can impact your mood, that can impact. So I think so.
Yeah, I think there's also levels to it as well,
Yeah.
because for the person who is, you know, really struggling, for the person who's doesn't even have a roof over their head, you know, the little bit of money that can secure that for them, I think that that is like a much larger like happiness or joy threshold, whatever that means to that person, than like incremental. I don't know if you've seen those like articles and studies where it's like, oh, when you make above a certain amount, like your happiness threshold like decreases, like I think that's like 70,000 or something like that, where you're not as happy or it's not as meaningful to you past a certain point. I think there was some truth to that, where it's like, you know, going from, you know, that drastic of a situation to, you know, a change that money can provide for you. I definitely agree. And then I think there's also kind of a level of, you know, regular Joe to, you know, winning the lottery or something like that and becoming a millionaire overnight, essentially. I think that can provide another level of happiness in a sense. But I think that to a certain degree, a lot of it in between it's really, you know, splitting hairs to a certain degree.
And don't get me wrong, more money, more problems. So I definitely agree with that. You know, Akeiva, who works with the ultra wealthy, it's like, you know, it's once you have the money, it's like, oh my goodness, how do I not lose the money? That then becomes the thought process, or how can I make the money make more money for me? And that's more of what you're thinking about. It's like I feel like you're so focused on not losing and going back to a situation of maybe not lower income, but like lower income for someone in that situation where it's like, oh my gosh, if I'm gonna have to drive myself around if I can't afford the driver. I'm gonna have to cook. I'm gonna have to not have Instacart deliver my groceries to my doorstep or Amazon grocery. You know, it's like giving up on the luxuries and kind of getting down to the bare bones. So I think that, like you said, it's situational, depends on where you are. You know, for that person that finds an extra $20 on the ground, it's like that might mean a lot for you in that moment. Someone else who it's like, oh, it's $20. You know, I make that in seconds by investing in stocks or whatever. So it's situational, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like you said, there's a whole flip side to this too, because again, more money, more problems, right? So that's your assumption of what wealthy people are thinking about their wealth.
I think so.
Many of them don't necessarily think that way. Some do, but a lot don't. But I would say that, yeah, because at that level, money doesn't necessarily buy you happiness. It's buying you more problems in a lot of cases, right? When you're worrying about, okay, well, how do I make sure that I raise my kids so they're not spoiled brats? Because they have access to a lot of things that many other people do not, right? It's, you know, when now me and this spouse, or like if I'm potentially looking at getting a divorce, like how nasty is that going to get because there's money involved, right? It's just like when you get to a certain level of wealth, a lot of times, honestly, it makes people miserable. Like, it makes people miserable sometimes to an extent, especially too, I see where, especially people who inherit money, like from the previous generation, it's like, oh, this generation worked so hard to make this money, like, I have a big responsibility to not squander it, right? So that is like a weight on a lot of people's shoulders, where it's like, either I have to make sure that I maintain this, and, you know, so that, you know, my parent, my grandparent, whoever generated that wealth's work was not for nothing, right? Or even people who feel guilt about having that level of wealth, where it's like, oh no, I have to give it all away. Like, I need to figure out my philanthropy, my giving, like I'm gonna be just tossing money around like nobody's business, because they feel that guilt around having that money. So I think to a degree, also when you get to the upper eons of wealth, more money really does buy less happiness, makes people miserable, and, you know, presents more problems than the average person too. So that's like the flip side of the coin too, that I see sometimes. So I really do think that money it has the potential to buy you things that make you happy. It has the potential to buy things that'll bring you joy, right? Like even having the money to, let's say, buy a plane ticket to go finally see your grandmother who you haven't seen all lockdown. Like those kinds of things that bring people genuine joy. It was never about the money. It was what it provided for you. You know what I'm saying? The things that bring you joy in life. And so I think those kinds of things, yes, money has the potential to do that, but I also think money has the potential to destroy you in the same vein. So the way I see money, it is really a tool. It is not the tool to provide happiness. It's a lot of broke, happy people. It is not a prerequisite for happiness. However, it can buy things that make you happy or that bring you joy. It's really just a tool that can be used for good or evil is the way that I look at it. It's really just a tool. If you're interested in getting an inside look as to the strategies that we have used to manage our money, some of the things that we've used money to do as a tool over the past few years and a way that's resulted in us building our wealth, growing at $180,000 in 3 years without six-figure salaries, I'd love to invite you to join our free webinar. It is called the Financial Freedom Formula, How to Build Wealth Without a Six-Figure Salary. The link to join will be down in the description box below and pinned up into the cards, and we hope to see you there.
And I think that what, important to pull out from that is the most important thing is regardless of what your situation is, I think that your happiness is really dependent on you. I also think that it's a choice, It's like you could definitely look at someone and, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. Look at them, I'm in a worse off situation. You could do that and make yourself miserable too. I think that you have to really purpose in your mind that, you know what, I'm going to be content. If I'm broke, if I'm po, if I'm whatever, like I'm good where I am and make myself happy. There's other things and other ways that can make yourself happy. Having family, having friends, having, those
having
things.
Your
that,
health.
Yeah, your health. That.
What sense to have all this money if you bedridden and can't even really enjoy it? Yeah, you might have the fanciest care in all of the world, but if you can't even get out your bed without assistance, like those things that people take for granted too. So again, there's a limit to it,
Yeah. So I think that that's really the important thing there is to really be able to make yourself happy, because money, can come and go too, right? You could be up today where some people like, lotto winners, they win all this money and, on average, I think like in maybe 2 to 3 years, most of them are usually, broke again. It's like, you got to be able to just be good where you are because anything could happen, even if you have like uber amounts of money. It's like anything can happen. You make a bad investment. Somebody sues you. You have a wife that like she said, no prenup, and they get 50%. It's like you have to be able to be comfortable where you are. No matter what the situation is. So
you gotta be good with you and the Lord. Okay, gotta be good with you.
So tell us what you think below. Does having money mean that you'll be happy? We want to hear that down in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, but don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so that you never miss when we post new, valuable content just like this. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.